Good afternoon, everyone. Let us start. Today we shall learn a new chapter, Chapter 11, Water in the Atmosphere, of your NCERT textbook, Fundamentals of Physical Geography. Now let me present my screen. Okay, so this is the name of the chapter, Water in the Atmosphere, and about the significance of water vapor we have learned in the previous lesson. Okay, see, water vapor, that is present the amount of water vapor present in the atmosphere varies from 0 to 4% by volume of the atmosphere and plays an important role in weather phenomena. Okay, the amount of water vapor present in the atmosphere is very small. However, its role in playing the weather phenomena is very important. Okay, if there were no water vapor in the atmosphere, then no weather phenomena, we can say like that. No rainfall, no cloudiness, then no snowfall, and so on. Okay, so you know that water is present in the atmosphere in three forms, namely gases, then liquid, and solid state, and moisture, that is water vapor in the atmosphere, is derived from water bodies, okay, from the lakes, ponds, rivers through evaporation, and from plants through transpiration. You know that transpiration is the process of the loss of water vapor from the leaves of the trees. Okay, so the atmosphere gets water vapor from the water bodies, okay, through evaporation process, and from the plants through transpiration, and there is a continuous process, okay, continuous exchange of water between atmosphere, then oceans, continents, through the process of evaporation, transpiration, condensation, and precipitation. So this is what we call hydrological cycle. Okay, water in the earth atmosphere is cycle is recycled, renewed through the hydrological cycle that we have learned earlier. And see here, water vapor present in the air is known as humidity. The amount of water vapor present in the air is known as humidity, and the humidity is expressed quantitatively in different ways. So what are the different ways? Let us read. The actual amount of water vapor present in the atmosphere is known as absolute humidity. Okay, the actual amount of water vapor present in the atmosphere is known as absolute humidity. So at this point of time, what is the amount of this water vapor present in the atmosphere, present in a parcel of air, is known as absolute humidity. And the absolute humidity is the weight of water vapor per unit volume of air, and is expressed in terms of grams of water vapor per cubic meter. Okay, so absolute humidity is the weight of water vapor per unit volume of air, and it is expressed in terms of grams of water vapor per cubic meter. Say for example, here, just let us see one diagram. Okay, see here, say this is a cubic meter air. Just let us say this is a cubic meter of air, Okay, so this is a cubic meter here, and the weight of the water vapor present, okay, in this cubic meter here is known as, for example, let us say it is 1 cubic meter. Okay, 1 cubic meter. It is 1 cubic meter of air, and within this 1 cubic meter, okay, say the quantity present in this 1 cubic meter air is known as absolute humidity. For example, using instrument, we find that say the amount of water vapor found in this cubic meter of air is 20 gram. Okay, so this is what we call absolute humidity. Okay, see here the absolute humidity is 20 gram per cubic meter of air. So it is expressed in this way. Okay, see here, absolute humidity is the weight of water vapor per unit volume of air. So here the unit volume air may be cubic meter or cubic feet. Okay, in my case it is in cubic meter. Okay, and so I'm expressing in terms of grams of water vapor per cubic meter. So in my case, for this particular parcel of air, the absolute humidity is 20 gram per cubic meter air. Okay, so any question from your side?
No, sir.
Okay, then let us proceed. The ability of air to hold water vapor depends entirely on its temperature. Okay, the ability of air to hold water vapor depends entirely on its temperature. So about this, let us first know how the air hold water vapor. Let us say this is a parcel of air. Okay, let me show you another design. Say this is a parcel of air. Okay, and let us suppose these are molecules of different gases. Okay, and see here between the molecules, here we find a space, and this is what we call intermolecular space, and water vapor molecules are present in the intermolecular space. Here water vapor will be present here. Okay, and these are the molecules of other gases, and so between the molecules we find space, what we call intermolecular space, and water vapor molecules are present here. Let us say these are the water vapor molecules. And see, in the other case, if say for example, let us say this is a parcel of air or an object. Okay, when this parcel of air is heated, or when the temperature of this parcel of air is rising, then it will be expanded. Okay, the volume will be expanded in this way. Let us say this is the previous one. After heating, the volume of the parcel of air is expanded, and that is why we find more space. Okay, we find more intermolecular space. That means since we find more space, this water vapor can be whole. Water vapor can be held here in this intermolecular space, since the volume is increased. Okay, see, this is the parcel of air, and here these are the intermolecular molecules, and if the temperature is rising, then the volume of the parcel of air will be increased, and hence we will get more space. That means this parcel of air can hold more water vapor since the volume is increased. So in this way, due to change in the temperature, okay, then the air the capacity of the air to hold water vapor increases or decreases. If temperature rises, then the capacity of the air to hold water vapor increases, and if the temperature cools down, if the temperature is lowered, then it is contracted. The volume of air is contracted, and that is why the capacity to hold water vapor is decreased. Okay, that is the point mentioned here. And see, the absolute humidity differs from place to place on the surface of the earth, that we know that. And we have another measure to express the amount of water vapor present in the atmosphere, that is known as relative humidity. So let us read. The percentage of moisture present in the atmosphere as compared to its full capacity at a given temperature is known as relative humidity. Okay, the percentage of moisture present in the atmosphere as compared to its full capacity at a given temperature is known as relative humidity. So this one is expressed in percentage. Okay, see here. See, in this case, for example, this is for illustrative purpose only. Let us say this is a parcel of air. Okay, this is a parcel of air, and here let us suppose this parcel of air can hold only 44 milligram of water vapor. So this is the maximum water vapor holding capacity of this parcel of air, let us suppose. But when we say measure this amount of water vapor present in the atmosphere, present in this parcel of air, is found only 22 milligram. Okay, and then when it is expressed in percentage, so it is very easy. Okay, it will be like this. So here 22, okay, divided by this here 44, then this here multiplied by this 100. Okay, that means relative humidity will be this 50%. So in this way it is calculated. Let me show you one more. Okay, see here we have another diagram also. So in this case also actually it is the same. Here air mass, okay, this parcel air mass starts at 30 degrees Celsius with 15 grams. That means at 30 degrees Celsius this air mass contains, this parcel air contains 15 grams of water vapor. Okay, this per cubic meter air. However, let us suppose that this parcel air, this cubic meter air can hold only 30 grams of water vapor. So this is the maximum water vapor holding capacity of this given parcel of air, and the 15 gram is the actual amount of water vapor found at 30 degrees Celsius. So here in this case relative humidity is equal to 15 gram of water vapor per cubic meter divided by 30 gram. So this is the maximum water vapor holding capacity of water vapor per cubic meter into 100, and we have got this 50%. So remember about the maximum water vapor holding capacity. We may say, for example, let us say this is a bucket. Okay, so this is a bucket, and let us say see this let us suppose this bucket can hold only 15 liter of water. So this is the maximum water holding capacity of this bucket. So we can pour water only up to the highest level. Up to the highest level, this water, this bucket, okay, can hold only 15 liter. However, at present, if the bucket contains only half, okay, only half of the this water vapor or water, okay, that means, let us say half. Let us say half in this case. To make it simpler, let us say 7.5 liter. So here in this case also, relative humidity will be 50%. Okay, so again let me repeat, the maximum water holding capacity of the bucket is 15 liter. We cannot pour more than 15 liter in a bucket. That is what I call maximum water holding capacity of the bucket. But at present, if we find that the bucket contains only 7.5 liter of water, so this we can say this is the actual amount of water vapor present in the parcel of air. So using this formula, okay, relative humidity is equal to this 7.5 divided by 15 into 100, then you will get 50%. So in this way, percentage is calculated, okay, to express the amount of water vapor present in the air. And you must know that with the change of this air temperature, the capacity to retain moisture increases or decreases, as I told you, and the relative humidity is also affected. Okay, relative humidity is affected by the change in the temperature, do not forget. However, absolute humidity is not affected by the change in the temperature. Okay, see, let us see one more diagram. See this diagram. See here in this case, let us say this is a parcel of air. Okay, this is a parcel of air, and when the temperature of this parcel of air drops, okay, then as I told you, the volume will be reduced, the volume will be decreased. And since the volume is decreased, and since relative humidity is expressed in percentage, okay, relative humidity will be increased. However, absolute humidity remains the same, because absolute humidity is expressed in grams, okay, per cubic meter, or it is expressed in terms of weight per cubic meter per unit volume of air. And that is why absolute humidity is not affected by temperature, but relative humidity is affected by temperature, because it is expressed in ratios or percentage. Likewise, when this parcel of air, okay, is heated, or when the temperature is rising, when the temperature rises, then the volume of this parcel of air will be expanded, will be increased. Okay, and if there is no addition of water vapor, then relative humidity will be decreased, since it is expressed in percentage. But absolute humidity remains the same. As I told you, it is expressed, okay, in grams per cubic meter. So that is the point mentioned in the textbook. Relative humidity is affected by the change in the temperature. Okay, because when the temperature changes, parcel of air, okay, the volume of the parcel of air increases or decreases, and accordingly the value of the relative humidity will be changed. Yes, I told you. Okay, see another one more explanation. So this is the parcel of air, and so these are the these gas molecules, and as I told you, in the intermolecular space, these water vapor molecules are present here, okay, in this area. And when it is heated, the given parcel of air will be expanded, and we will get more intermolecular space. That means it can hold more water vapor. At the same time, if there is no addition of the water vapor, then this value of the relative humidity will be decreased. Okay, since it is expressed in percentage. So any question from your side?
No, sir.
And two more terms here. The air containing moisture to its full capacity at a given temperature is said to be saturated. Okay, so the air containing moisture to its full capacity at a given temperature is said to be saturated. That means saturated air. So say here, say again, let us see one more explanation. See here. Here in this case, if the water vapor, okay, is present here, if water vapor is present here to its full capacity, and that is called saturated air. If the air is saturated, then no more water vapor can be added. So in this case, if okay, water vapor is present up to here, for example, okay, it is present up to here, then this parcel of air is said to be saturated. No more water vapor can be added. Just the example of bucket also. See, this is the bucket, and if the bucket contains water up to the maximum level, that means the bucket is said to be saturated. No more water can be added. And likewise, if the parcel of air contains a water vapor up to the maximum capacity, that is known as saturated air. Okay, and it is also described here. It means that the air at the given temperature is incapable of holding any additional amount of moisture at that stage. So at that given temperature, no more water vapor can be added. However, if temperature increases, then more water vapor can be added because it is expanded, as explained earlier. And the temperature at which saturation occurs is known as dew point. The temperature at which a given parcel of air is saturated is known as dew point. Okay. See, in this case, let us say this is a parcel of air. Okay, let me draw one more. Okay, this is a parcel of air, and so these are these gas molecules, and here let us say water vapor is present only 50%. Okay. However, if the temperature drops, then the volume will be contracted, and without adding of this water vapor, okay, let us say the temperature of this parcel of air is, for example, 25 degrees Celsius. Okay, 25 degrees Celsius, and when this parcel of air is the temperature of this parcel of air is decreased to, for example, 10 degrees Celsius, 10 degree Celsius, the volume is contracted, okay, and without adding this water vapor, it can be saturated because it is contracted. Okay, so when a parcel of air, maybe 1 cubic meter at 25 degrees Celsius, say contain only 50% of water vapor, but when it is when the temperature drops, the volume will be contracted, and if there is no addition of the water vapor also, say this parcel air can be saturated since the intermolecular space is contracted. So this 10 degree Celsius is what I call dew point, because at 10 degrees Celsius the given parcel of air is saturated. Okay, so in this case, so this parcel of air become saturated. Okay, and at 10 degrees Celsius, this given parcel of air is saturated, and that is why this 10 degrees Celsius is known as dew point. Okay, see here, temperature at which saturation occurs in a given sample of air is known as dew point. Any question regarding dew point? Do you have any confusion regarding dew point?
No, sir.
Okay, then I think about the concept of evaporation and condensation you have also learned in the previous classes, in the lower classes also. However, let us read. Evaporation is the process by which water is transformed from liquid to gaseous state, and for the evaporation, heat is the main cause. Okay, heat is the main cause for evaporation. Then the temperature at which the water start evaporating is referred to as a latent heat of evaporation. Okay, the temperature at which water start evaporating is referred to as latent heat of evaporation. See here, just see this diagram. See, when these are, so this is a body of water and these are the molecules. Okay, and when the temperature rises, this molecular activity will be increased, and because of that some molecules will be ejected into the atmosphere. So in this way evaporation is taken place. Okay, and increase in temperature increases water absorption and the retention capacity of given parcel air that we learned earlier. Okay, if there is increase in temperature, then volume will be expanded and the water absorption and the retaining capacity will be increased. And similarly, if moisture content is low, okay, and the air has a potentiality of absorbing is low, then air has a potentiality of absorbing and retaining moisture. It means that if in a given parcel of air, if the water vapor content is low, then it can hold more water vapor, it can absorb more water vapor. And movement of air replaces saturated air with the unsaturated air. Just see here, okay, this is a water body, and let us say there will be evaporation all the time if there is temperature differences, and if the water doesn't move, then this air nearby the water surface will be saturated. But when the wind blows, this saturated air will be carried away and will be replaced by dry air. So in this way there can be more evaporation. So that is the point mentioned here. Movement of air replaces saturated layer with the unsaturated layer. Hence, greater movement of air. Okay, the greater the movement, the greater is the evaporation. That means when the wind blows, then there will be more evaporation. And that is why, see, when we take bath in the open air, then when the wind blows, we feel cold. Why we feel cold when the wind blows? That is because of evaporation. Okay, and the transformation of water vapor into water is called condensation, that you have learned earlier. And the condensation is caused by loss of heat. That means when the temperature of a given parcel of air is decreased, then there may be condensation. And when moist air is cool, so it may reach a level when its capacity to hold water vapor ceases, and then the excess water vapor condenses into a liquid form. Okay, just see, you may think like this also. Let us say a parcel of air you may compare with a sponge. Okay, So in a sponge, I think you may find so many pores, so many holes are there. You may think those pores as the intermolecular space, and in those pores water is present. Okay, and when you squeeze the sponge, then the water will be oozing out. And likewise, when a parcel of air, okay, when a parcel of air is the temperature of a parcel of air is decreased, then the volume will be contracted, and because of that there will be condensation process, just like the squeezing of a piece of sponge containing water. And if condensation directly take place in solid form, it is known as sublimation. If a water vapor directly turns into ice, we call it sublimation, you have learned. And in the free air, condensation results from cooling around very small particles. Term is hygroscopic condensation nuclei. About this also we have learned earlier. Okay, just let me show you some diagram. See here, let us say this is a condensation nuclei, a dust particle or a salt particle, and see on the surface of the this salt particle or the dust particle, water molecules will be attracted, and hence condensation is taken place on the surface of the condensation nuclei, and in this way cloud fogs are formed. Okay, and see here, you have learned that dust particles, then smoke, salt from the ocean are particularly good nuclei because they absorb water. And the condensation also takes place when moist air comes in contact with some colder object. Okay, and it may also take place when the temperature is close to the dew point. So when moist air, when saturated air contacts with cold surfaces like glass or metal sheet, then there will be condensation also. Just like this, I think sometimes you may be seeing such type of scenes. Okay, so this is a glass, and when the cold air hits on the glass, then since the surface of the glass is colder, then there may be condensation on the surface. Okay, like this on the electric poles and on the metal sheets and the CI sheets in the roofs also you may find condensation. And condensation therefore depends upon the amount of cooling and the relative humidity of the air. Okay, and condensation is influenced by volume of air, then by temperature, by pressure and humidity. And the condensation takes place when temperature of this air is reduced to dew point, okay, with remaining with the volume remaining constant. When the temperature drops, when the temperature of a given parcel of air drops, then there may be condensation. Then when both the volume and the temperature of a given parcel of air is reduced, then there may be condensation. And number 3, when the moisture is added to the air through evaporation, then there may be condensation. That means when moisture is added, there may be air may become saturated. See, for example, in this gas, let us say temperature may remain the same, and if let us say this parcel air contain only 50%, okay, of water vapor. However, if due to evaporation, if more water vapor is added, then this parcel air can be saturated without changing the temperature also. And when the air is saturated, okay, then there may be condensation. But you must know that the most favorable condition for condensation is decrease in the air temperature. Okay, when the temperature of the air is decreased, then there will be condensation. So this is the most favorable condition for the condensation process. So any question from your side?
No, sir.
Okay, then let us stop here for today. Thank you very much for joining my class.